Ah, there it is. Hey. Alright. Everything's good here. Now let's go over here. Aha. And I am seeing on YouTube. And we are good to go. Hey guys, I am back. Welcome to the Nyxi Acolyte Talk Show. I am your host, Prime Minister Austin Elsler, the Prime Minister of the Queendom of Nyx. How is everybody's Tuesday today? Well, I guess you could say mine was very talkative. Got to talk to my family a lot, which is always good. Excuse me for a moment while I turn my phone off. Alright. Anyway. So. Alright. Don't mind the TV for a second. There. Just in case YouTube gets a little antsy. There. Alright. And for anyone saw it, yes, I use Hamilton as a work music. Whoop-de-doo. That's how I am. Anyway, happy Tuesday, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good Tuesday. The royal family is out trunk-or-treating, well, except for the very young prince. Little Prince Brendan is sick with a very high fever today. He is with Mama. So, oh no, it says YouTube is not recording. Why is that good? Why is YouTube not recording? Oh, not enough video, blah blah blah. Okay. That kind of thing. So it's just buffering. Is that what you're doing? No, you're just buffering. You're fine. You are fine. Alright. What we got to talk about today? Obviously, it's another AMA, like I said before in the last live video. Ask me anything. If you want to ask me anything, go for it. If you don't want to ask me anything, say hi. How you doing? Go to hell. Anything you want to tell me, write in the comments. Take it. I found out that there was a thing about comments where it's like, do you want to hold all the inappropriate comments or you want to hold all comments? It's like, no, allow all. I'm allowing all comments. You know, if I see inappropriate comments, that's, you know, towards other commentators, or myself or whatever, I'll either call them out or I'll remove them from the chat. Simple as that. But no, freedom of speech is a given here in this comment. So, you know, but you also gotta respect YouTube guidelines. We are using a private company's little chat room thingy, even though they censor a lot of people anyway, but it's how it is. So, our YouTube overlords has given us rules and we must abide. So, be nice, say you disagree with me or someone on something, and be done with it. So, hopefully y'all are having a good day today. What we're going to talk about today is the executive branch. Yes, everything about the executive branch, what we do, what we don't do, what we're allowed to do, all that good stuff. I wonder if I have to do that one thing again. Is it this thing? I don't even know where it is anymore. No, it's not that one. Can I, can I, can I exit out? Oh, here we go. Okay. YouTube is not recording enough video to maintain smooth streaming as such. We'll experience buffering. You'll live. You'll get better throughout the night. Anyway. Alright. If the computer will let me. Let's see. Oh look, my computer is gonna do that and just screw up my thingy. I don't even know if I'm even on now. Am I still on? I am still on because I have magical powers and my computer is not allowed to, you know, not be mean to me. Whatever the word is. Alright, let's talk about the executive branch today. If my computer will stop making me buffer so much. Alrighty, let's do it. I'm getting all the executive branch stuff out now. Let me get on our little fancy website. Speaking of website, if you want to check us out for more information, I suggest you all go to www.queendom, Queendom, of Nyx.com. Go there, and you'll have all the information you need if you don't feel like asking questions. I would like for you to ask me questions. Okay, there might be something in the website that you're confused about. So, ask me questions, please and thank you. Now, let me double check, make sure everything is good on my end. Alright, everything is good on the YouTube end, everything's good on the OBS end. Yep. Okay. Says my streaming's fine. I don't know why my YouTube is acting weird. So y'all might experience some buffering. I don't know why it would be buffering, but it could be because of the high CPU. That's a possibility, but as far as I'm aware, it's nothing. I'm gonna say hello to the chat through the comment myself. Hello all. There we go. Alright, let's talk about it. Once I get there. Alright, Constitution. All the way down to executive branch. Yes, we have ways of doing that. There we go. Next Constitution, executive branch, sections 25 to 31. What we got? Alright, and then I'm also introducing the Nyx Revised Statutes Title 2, which are laws regarding the executive branch. Alright. So, what we got? Now, to be frank, I don't know how to do this. Let's see. I could screen share if I figured that out. Done before on Skype, but I haven't done it on here, so I'll just do it next time. I'm not worried about it. I'll just tell y'all. Alright. So let's get to it. Executive Branch, Section 25 to 31 of the Queendom of Nyx Constitution. Section 25. Executive power is vested in the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister of the Queendom of Nyx is the head of the executive branch and is in charge of handling most foreign and domestic affairs and is Commander-in-Chief of the Royal Navy. Do we even have a Royal Navy yet? No, but we plan to. So there's your answer to that. And that section has actually most of these amendments were ratified on September 12th of 2021. That is actually when the Constitution was written. So we had 2 constitutions in total. We had 2 constitutions in total. So, and this is our second one. Section 26. The Privy Council. The Prime Minister can have a Privy Council of 3 senators to give advice on executive branch policies. The Prime Minister has the authority to appoint Nyxi citizens to the Privy Council with the approval of the monarch. Ratified on September 12, 2021. Last amended on January 20th, 2024. What was the amendment? Okay, so back then, in September 12, 2021 onward, before January 20th of 2024, which is this year, the Privy Council used to have 5 senators instead of 3. I shrank it because, I think at the time I've only had 2 or 3 senators in total at the time, and having 2 vacant seats for a long period of time was getting a little inefficient and annoying. So I decided to propose a, was it? Yeah, it's a plebiscite. Yeah, I proposed a plebiscite which changes the Constitution. Now, of course, that requires a lot more than just, the vote from the National Assembly. Well, actually, the National Assembly does vote on it, but it requires a. I think it requires a supermajority. Yeah, I think, or is it 2/3? It's one or the other. I'll find it later. But it's in either 2/3 or supermajority. So about 67 to 75% majority vote. That's how a constitutional amendment gets passed. So, and that's what happened, and that's where we're at now. So, but yes. Moving on. Section 27. No term limits for the Prime Minister. I know that sounds bad, but hear me out. The Prime Minister of the Queendom of Nyx is a position that is appointed by the monarch and can only be selected or removed by the monarch with the advice of popular opinion. That basically means that if the people are getting sick of me, they can complain to the monarch and removed. Simple as that. Double checking YouTube. Hey, the connection is okay again. Woohoo. Alright, let's get back to the Constitution. And real quick, I actually forgot to mention, back to the Privy Council, I am planning to propose a plebiscite to repeal it. To repeal Section 26 of the Constitution, which abolishes the Privy Council. Here's why. It has become a useless government entity. The Privy Council. It has become a useless government entity. It's not that no one's giving me advice, it's just no one is... Well, I mean, yes, there's a lack of advice coming in, so to speak. There's lack of people putting effort. There we go. There's a lack of people putting effort into it. It's not that they're not doing a bad job. They've all done a great job. If you've seen the previous videos, you've seen all the executive meetings we had, okay? So I'm not saying they've done a bad job or anything. It's just as time progressed, people's lives changed a little bit, and we have to move forward from that, you know, and I feel like we shouldn't have a government entity that's going to be vacant forever, especially a constitutional one. Okay, the Privy Council is a constitutional government entity. So we're going to abolish it because it's becoming a useless entity. Maybe we'll bring it back in the future, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see what people think about it. So that's the Privy Council right now. It's still active, but I do plan on proposing to repeal it. Or about, yeah, repeal it, yeah. Section 20... Well, let's go back to Section 27 about me not having term limits. I'm the first Prime Minister, so as we founded the nation, I basically gave myself the Prime Minister position and gave the Queen, you know, her monarchy position, and our third founder became one of her ministers in her court. So that's where we ended up at when we first started the nation. So I might have to get a drink of water in a second. My throat's getting a little tickly and dry for some reason. But and you know, as a prime minister, I didn't want to get my term limits yet while we just founded the thing because, you know, I don't want to leave office to someone that doesn't know what he's doing or she's doing, right? So I basically, you know, decided to just remain prime minister until I feel comfortable to either resign or the people, assuming we have a lot of people, to kick me out and then put someone new in. That'd be the end of it. So that actually wasn't the case because this was ratified on the day of the Constitution being ratified, but this was amended on January 20th of 2024 this year, like the last amendment. It was a position where I cannot be removed at all. But I have decided that my position is now an appointed position by the monarch. And it can only be selected or removed by the monarch with the advice of popular opinion. So that means the monarch has to go by popular opinion, or by popular vote in a sense, but monarch has to go by popular opinion. And, you know, and it's just an advisory opinion, as in the popular vote could say one thing, she could choose another. That's basically how it goes of her choosing a new prime minister. So, but that's the reason why, but now it's an appointed position, so now I'm not in office forever, so to speak. So, I don't plan on being a prime minister forever. I'm hoping we have a nation by then, but, you know, I can't control time, so. Let's go to the next one. Section 28. This one's actually, yeah, this one's the shortest one, actually. Signatures of bills by the Prime Minister, veto, passage over veto, partial veto. When legislation passes through the legislature, the reason why we have to use the word legislature in the Constitution and other places is because the legislature happens to change a lot. We went from a unicameral, that's the name of the legislature, not the one house type deal. But it was a one house type deal. We just call it the unicameral. We didn't call it anything else. So went from the unicameral to House of Representatives to briefly the National Assembly. So, and it was, under emergency that we went into the National Assembly, and that's where we're at now. So, in case it changes again, which that is in the Constitution, but I'll do that next slide video. Yeah. So right now we're on the National Assembly. House of Representatives is suspended for right now. But anyway, when legislature passes through the legislature, the Prime Minister receives it and then signs it into law. Ratified September 12, 2021, has not been amended. That amendment has been there since the beginning. All right, time to the new one. Section 29 of the Nyxi Constitution. Duties of the Deputy Prime Minister. Some of you might like this one. The Deputy Prime Minister shall have the same powers as the Prime Minister, but only if the Prime Minister is absent or is incapacitated to function in office. This was ratified on August 30th of 2023. The Deputy Prime Minister shall be called Prime Minister if the Prime Minister is not in the meeting with him or her. The Deputy Prime Minister must have approval from the Prime Minister to do any executive or legislative, because I am part of the National Assembly, more than ever now since I was elected chairman. We'll get to how I'm Prime Minister and chairman at the same time. Action before proceeding, such as, but not limited to, 1. Propose legislation to the legislature. Anybody can do that. 2. Sign a bill into law. 3. Call for a special session for a privy council or the legislature. 4. Write executive orders. That does need to be, the language there does need to be changed. It is executive reminders now. The Deputy Prime Minister can assist the Prime Minister with anything the Prime Minister assigns him or her to do within the jurisdiction of the executive branch. The Deputy Prime Minister cannot use the procedures of the executive branch or legislative branch to remove the current Prime Minister from office. Has there been an incident of that? No. But I feel like we should put in there just in case. Section 30 of the Nyxi Constitution. That still also involves the Deputy Prime Minister. Deputy Prime Minister elections and term limits. The Deputy Prime Minister elections shall be held on November 1st every 2 years. So the term limit is 2 years. The Deputy Prime Minister shall have a term limit of 2 years. The Deputy Prime Minister election would be a partisan election. So it will be a partisan election. We currently have 2 political parties, but everybody else is independent. So on November 1st, the polls shall begin the voting procedures for registered voters of Nyx to vote for the candidates of their choosing for Deputy Prime Minister. If there are only 2 candidates in the election, it shall only be a winner-take-all voting process. If there are 3 or more candidates in the election, it shall be a ranked choice voting process. Yes, we do a mixture of both, and it goes by the depending on the number of candidates in the election. If it's just 2, it's winner-take-all. If it's 3 or more, it's ranked choice voting all the way. The winner of the election shall be sworn in on March 6th of the year after the election. And we currently do have a Deputy Prime Minister-elect, but at this point we're kind of treating him like he's already in office. Try to get things done and over with, So, but we'll officially get him in March. So, why so long? Why all the way in March? March is traditionally the new year in a natural sense because March is the beginning of spring. So having like what the U.S. does with Inauguration Day on January is a little weird. Because that's actually what the U.S. did a long time ago, was inaugurate presidents in March. And then they did their thing like through January. So But not anymore. Section 31. Impeachment of the Deputy Prime Minister. The Deputy Prime Minister can be recalled by the voters of Nyx through a recall referendum. If the recall ballot reaches two-thirds majority of signatures, it shall be an official ballot. If the recall ballot reaches two-thirds majority of votes, the Deputy Prime Minister shall be summoned to the legislature to be impeached. The Deputy Prime Minister can only be impeached by a recall election or an impeachment resolution from the legislature. I'm going to check my YouTube real quick, making sure everything is still up and running. Checking OBS. Assuming computer doesn't crash. And I guess my computer is deciding to crash. Well, maybe not crash, but it's deciding to not cooperate. I don't know why that happened. My OBS disappeared and it came back. That was weird. Okay, good. It's still streaming. That's good. Very good, very good. Alright. Okay, let me get my phone real quick, because I don't think people are listening. Excuse me for one moment. I will continue in a second. Give me 1 second, everyone. Give me 1 second. Alright, just double checking. Where am I at? Section 31 of the Constitution. Got it. Alright. Everything's right in front of me, so. Yeah, if you like what you're seeing on these videos in my podcast, make sure you press the like button, the subscribe button, and hit the bell so you get my pop-ups. I have to do this because people are not doing the pop-ups. Do the pop-ups, y'all. I love y'all, but damn, do the pop-ups. It's free. All you have to do is click a button and hell, you can just like, alright, fine, I'll click like, I'll click subscribe, I'll click the bell, done, exit out. You can literally do that. It will not bother me at all. You're helping me by doing those 3 things. So I thank you for that. And if you like what you see, what are you doing? Become a citizen or a supporter. Help us out. If you just want to be a supporter, we got you covered. But if you want to be a citizen, be part of the community itself, please join us. Go to www.queendomofnyx.com. It's a real website, I promise. Whoever told you otherwise is wrong. Alright, let's see. So give me 1 second so I can send this to everybody, and then, people will start flocking in some way, shape, or form. I'm hearing movement upstairs. Makes me wonder if those are the kids that have returned from their trick or treating. Excuse me. Ah, there we go. All right, there we go. Good enough. All right, sorry about that. Let's continue on, shall we? All right, Section 31, impeachment of Deputy Prime Minister. Let's see. I think I've already explained the first part. Yep. All right, part 2. The Deputy Prime Minister can only be impeached by a recall election or an impeachment resolution from the legislature. Part 3. The Deputy Prime Minister can only be impeached if the people see that the Deputy Prime Minister needs to be impeached over reasons that are legitimate, such as, but not limited to, violating the Constitution of the Queendom of Nyx. Yes, if you're a government official, if you violate the Constitution of the Queendom of Nyx, if someone calls you out on it, you will be sent to the legislature or court of ministers, depending on your actions. And, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's the entire executive branch. Not too big, not too small. It is specified. It is detailed. Like, one section is already planned to getting repealed. That is everything in the Constitution involving the executive branch. I think I should have started with the very beginning of the Constitution today, but I decided to start out with my branch of government. Why not? I'm a little biased, but it's fine. Don't worry. Next live video, Bill of Rights. Bill of Rights will be the next one we'll do. And then I'm sure you all want to hear that too anyway. Bill of Rights are actually quite long. So, alright, well that's it for the Constitution segment of that. Let's go to the statutes. So, we have things called Nyx Revised Statutes. They are the laws. So I guess you could say they are considered federal laws. Not federal laws, national laws. There's a difference. Because we're a centralized government, so we are technically national laws. Alright, Title 2, Executive Branch. Let's go. Alright, Chapter 4. Why is it Chapter 4? Okay, well, because Title 1 is the legislative branch. So this is Title 2. So, Title 1, which is either the supremacy branch or legislative branch, one or the other, that title has Chapter 1, 2, and 3. The executive branch goes down from Chapter 4 down to Chapter 15. So, there's 15 chapters on here. You may think it's long, but hear me out. There's only one chapter in this title, this whole title, that is actually long. So, everything else is quite short. So, but let me get there first before you disappear on me. Don't disappear. So, it looks like I gotta edit this anyway, so while I'm editing it, I'll tell you all about it. Alright, let's begin. Chapter 4, Land Claims for the Queendom of Nyx. This specific law was a executive order back then. It's no longer executive order now. It used to be an executive order, but it's been codified into law. So now it's law of the land. I don't have to worry about it, being only lasting for like 30 days or whatever. So I don't have to worry about that, which is a good thing. So, what's it mean? It means that I have to look closely into it here. I'm just going to increase the size for my sake. Alright, section, Chapter 4, Section 1, Subsection 1. December 7th, 2022. That is when it passed. All privately owned land by citizens/members of the Queendom of Nyx shall be declared as territory of the Queendom of Nyx and shall be under its jurisdiction. What does that mean? It means that if you own a home, actually own it, not renting it out, you're actually owning it, okay? That property is under the jurisdiction, meaning Queendom of Nyx laws apply to your property. Does that mean the government owns your property? No. Does it mean anybody else owns your property? No. Does it mean collectively we own your property? No. You still own your property. It is private. It is your property, 100%. We're just saying that now Queendom of Nyx laws apply to your property. That's why it's considered our territory. It's private land, but in our territory. So that's what this subsection means. Subsection 2. This does not apply to dual citizens from other micronations, unless their citizenship from their home micronation has been revoked or if they have withdrawn their citizenship from their home nation. If you were part of the micronational community, you would understand why I have the subsection. Subsection 3. All land owned by the government of the Queendom of Nyx is to be included as part of the claim territory. That part is the most obvious thing ever. If literally, like the land we're going after, right? The 3.44 acres. If we own the land, that's obviously going to be Queendom of Nyx territory. So that's obvious. No brainer. Subsection 4. There will be a mandated monthly check on land or house ownership by the executive branch to calculate how much land the Queendom of Nyx people and government owns and has under its jurisdiction. That will begin on January 1st, 2023. Which I have not done in a very long time. But I have started doing it now ever since we're planning to get on 3 brand new citizens. So what I've done with that right now, I am taking some questions out of the citizenship applications because they became unnecessary. But the status of ownership one and the address one is getting transferred to another document for census data purposes. The addresses are not going to be shared to the Department of the Census Bureau. That one is going to stay on the form forever until it's needed to be deleted, I guess. Okay? So what is going to this Department of the Census Bureau is the graph showing how many homeowners we have, renters we have, and homeless people we have. Yeah, that's about it. And then, of course, we calculate that, and we calculate how much land that is. You know what I'm saying? So, the addresses are to help confirm the locations of those addresses. Then we use that information to, we look up on a real estate agent or whatever, so we can figure out what square footage is your property, and we add it to the claimed territories of Nyx. Right now, the Queendom of Nyx, as of right now, the Queendom of Nyx is 2,054 acres big. That's how big the Queendom of Nyx is. 2,054 acres. It's like, where's all that land at? They're all private. Every single land is owned by a private individual. None by the government yet. It's like, then why are you looking for land if you got 2,000? It's a citizen's land. We can't just go in and take it. The 2,000 acres is owned by one farmer up in Canada who is currently the chief constable. That is Kurt. And yes, the chief constable of the National Constable Bureau is an executive position. He is in this title. So and the constables are the ones with a long chapter. And for a good reason. But we'll get there soon. I'm going to double check on YouTube, making sure everything is alright and up to date, making sure OBS is still running. Yep. Okay. I gotta check the technicals. Sorry, I gotta check the technicals. Alright, looks like we're good to go there. Alright, let's get back to it. Alright, so, no-brainer on Chapter 4. Chapter 5. Chapter 5, Section 2. The call for emergency assemblies is given to the Prime Minister. Subsection 1. The Prime Minister has the authority to call for an emergency assembly in the National Assembly. The reason for the emergency... Subsection 2. The reason for the emergency assembly must be about one specific topic that it was called for. So, even though I'm chairman right now, I am elected chairman, as well as Prime Minister. Obviously, as the chairman, I can schedule national assemblies. So because I have the ability to schedule national assemblies, I don't necessarily have to call for an emergency about one topic. But it's actually mainly for the House of Representatives, assuming we get it back after we reach the goal of over 40 people in our population. And hopefully 40 dedicated people that will, run for elections and such as representatives. Alright. Chapter 5, Section 3. One topic only. Subsection 1. The Prime Minister must have only one specific topic in mind when calling for a special session of the National Assembly. Subsection 2. They cannot make laws or have discussions about any other topic than the topic that the Prime Minister called a special session for. I know it sounds like a duplication, but it actually isn't. I have to specify that doing that is one topic only. I have to emphasize that. Chapter 6, the Privy Council. Chapter 6, Section 4, Privy Council. Subsection 1, the Prime Minister cannot appoint persons to the Privy Council due to their political affiliations, which I have not so far. Subsection 2, which has been repealed on May 2nd of this year. The repealed law, for transparency reasons, I will tell you. They repealed subsection 2. The Prime Minister shall be limited to only having one appointed person from each political party, except the one he is or she is affiliated with, until there are no vacancies. Obviously, that one has become difficult to do because back then when I started the Steampunk Coalition, as a political party, it's not a political party anymore, it's a PAC now, but as a political party, most of my senators became Steampunk Coalition people. So I couldn't have it. So we had to get rid of the law. It caused a little bit of a crisis. So, and the Privy Council's already planning to get it repealed anyway. So, Chapter 7, Elections. Chapter 7, Section 5, Duty of the Prime Minister in Elections. The Prime Minister is in charge, this is subsection 1 by the way, the Prime Minister is in charge of ensuring every single registered voter gets the ability to exercise their right to vote and shall make no reminder negatively affecting it. Reminder as an executive reminder. So, obviously, I can't make executive reminders to affect the election, right? So, because, you know, democracy and whatnot. Chapter 8, Inactivity Enforcement. This was passed on July 17th of 2023. Chapter 8, Section 6, Registered voters who are inactive in multiple ballots. Subsection 1, any registered voter who has not voted in 3 separate ballots in a row, as in if you voted, like as in if we had a whole month of ballots to do, if you have not voted in 3 in a row, according to subsection 1 of chapter 8, you will be declared as an inactive voter. Subsection 2, an inactive voter will not be counted as part of the total registered voters in the Queendom of Nyx. Subsection 3, anytime there is a new ballot being introduced, all registered voters must be analyzed by how many ballots they voted in. Then, if it checks out that they have voted in ballots prior to the new one, they are eligible to vote. Right? Seems fair. If one or more of registered voters did not cast a vote in 3 separate ballots in a row, they will not have their vote counted until they contact an executive officer to redeem their voting registry privileges. So, yeah. Voting in some cases is a right, but voting in some cases is a privilege. So, we'll have a debate on that in the future, I'm sure. Alright, here we go. It's a long chapter. Give me 1 second. I'm going to make sure everything's groovy on this end real quick. Actually, I'm going to do this. There we go. And then... yes. There we go. Alright. Let's continue on, shall we? Back to YouTube, double check everything. Okay, that's fine. Alright, let's do it. Alright. Chapter 9, Constables reformed on October 23rd, 2023. Chapter 9, Section 7, National Constables Bureau. Subsection 1, there shall be only one elected Chief Constable to run the functions of the National Constable Bureau. Subsection 2, the National Constable Bureau. National Police Force, with an elected chief and deputized constables, which has duties to enforce laws and protect the rights of the people. Subsection 3, deputized constables can only be deputized by either the Prime Minister or the Chief Constable and must go through an application process. The Chief Constable is elected by registered voters of the Queendom of Nyx. Subsection 5, the National Constable Bureau is under the command and jurisdiction of the executive branch. Chapter 9, Section 8, Chief Constable. Subsection 1, Chief Constable shall have a 2-year term, so every 2 years is the election. If no person runs for candidacy of Chief Constable within the 3-month period of candidacy admission, the Chief Constable election shall not be commenced on election day until the next candidacy admission cycle. So if no one runs for Chief Constable, then we move on. We move on to the next one. What is the next candidacy admission cycle? Next year. Not wait for 2 years. Next year. So if we ended up on an odd number year, we end up on an odd number year. That's how it is. Section 3. Actually, I'm going to do this real quick. Hold on, I'm going to see if I can do a magic trick. Give me 1 second. I'm going to see if I can do a magic trick. Alright, shrink this, shrink that, and then do this, and then do that. Ha ha! Magic. Alright. Actually, I'm going to do OBS. That's what I'm going to do, actually. There we go. Then I could put the chat over here. There we go. And then I can put the thingamajig over here. Aha! Here we go. I am smart. Alright, here we go. Let's continue. Alright. Subsection 3. Candidates for Chief Constable must submit their candidacy to the Prime Minister's office from June 1st to August 31st of the election year. Subsection 4. Registered voters will cast their votes starting from September 1st to September 20th of the election year. Subsection 5. The voting method shall depend on the number of candidates for Chief Constable. If there are 1 to 2 candidates, the voting method shall be the winner-take-all method, obviously. And then, of course, if there's 3 more candidates, goes to ranked choice voting. Duh. Subsection 6. Election day is on September 21st, which is our founding day. Simple as that. Candidates for Chief Constable must be a minimum of 19 years of age. Yes, that means you must be 19 years old to run for Constable. Yes, I know, it's a young person. Subsection 8. If an elected Chief Constable is out of office due to, but not limited to, death, incapacitation, resignation, or impeachment before their term expires, a special election shall be commenced 1 month after the position is vacant. And subsection 9 is about, can only be impeached by registered voters. Subsection 10 is, Chief Constable elections non-partisan, so political parties will not be shown on the ballot. And 11 is, must be sworn under oath in office. That's obvious. Alright, Chapter 9, Section 9, Authority of the Constables. Section 1, or Subsection 1, going downward. The Chief Constable, Deputized Constable shall have the authority to, obviously, the arrest, execute warrants, subpoenas, court summons, required to execute any court process given to them, and enforce laws under Nyx revised statutes or Nyx administrative regulations. Subsection 1, Paragraph A, I think that's what it's called. Chief Constable and Constables can be permitted to carry firearms in the performance of their duties. The word can be, as in, it can be ordered that they can have firearms. It could be recommended that they can have firearms, or they could do it themselves. That's what the word can means in that term. 2. Chief Constable and Constables who take office prior to September 21st, 2023 also have full law enforcement powers, including power of arrest. I think that one's essentially the same thing as subsection 1, but we're just going to go with it. On number 3, on the approval of the National Assembly, they may equip their vehicles with oscillating blue lights. Because you're a constable. And your vehicle's going to need some lights. So, and obviously, once we get this land, that will probably be literally the only place allowed to use those lights is on that land, so. At the moment, anyway. Where was I? Yeah, oscillating lights. 4. All constables must decide how to be paid in either salary or minimum wage and Nyxi pounds. Yes, you get paid in Nyxi pounds, like US dollars, as a constable. But that's approvable by the National Assembly. Paragraph A says constables can be paid through service fees depending on the laws, future laws, or voluntary taxation contracts are decided by popular vote to pay for the elected Chief Constable and constables. So, for people who don't know what a voluntary taxation contract is, you can actually voluntarily pay taxes. Now, of course, what's the difference between our taxation process and the U.S. taxation process? We don't have a gun pointed at your head. No one's pointing a gun at my head. Okay, fine. If that's the case, why do you have to pay taxes to have a job? Why do you have to have taxes to be paid? No, sorry, not have. Pay. Why do you pay taxes to have a job? To have a job. To get hired on a job. Why do you pay to have a paycheck? Why do you pay to buy stuff? Well, that's a dumb question. Double charge? Yeah, that double charge sounds right. Why do you get double charged when you buy stuff that you're already spending money on? What happens if you don't do those? Let's say you get hired on a job, the job form, application, whatever, says, okay, well, if you sign this, you have to pay income tax, this tax, that tax, blah, 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 right? Okay, obviously, if you don't sign that, if you decide to not pay taxes on that application form, what happens? You don't get the job. You don't get the job. I think that would be considered a gun to your head. Because if you don't have a job, you can't work. You can't work, you can't live. Live as in have a life. Ours, you can volunteer to pay taxes. It's like, but no, then no one will pay taxes. Yeah, there will. Yes, there will. Yes, there will. Okay? Look, if people want to put money into something that they believe either benefits them or benefits their community, they will put money into it. The reason we don't see it in the US is because we're taxed to death. We're so taxed to death that if we invest into anything or donate money into anything, we will be broke. And then we'll be scared that we won't be able to eat, or our children won't be able to eat because we decided to donate money or decided to invest in something and we lost the money, or we did good but it cost more money. That is the difference between the Queendom of Nyx and the United States in taxation. You can volunteer to pay taxes. If you say no, have a good day. You're still a citizen. You still have your rights. There's no gun pointing to your head. You just go home and be like, I'll pay taxes later. Done. Now, once you sign the contract, though, this is actually a constitutional amendment, by the way. Voluntary taxation contracts is a constitutional thing. Once you sign the contract, you cannot back out after 1 year. 1 year, yes. The contract has a time limit. It's not a forever taxation. It lasts for 1 year. 1 year. One. Uno. Un. One. Okay? 1 year. Once it's done, it's done. It expires. You paid all your taxes. You no longer have to pay taxes anymore. Until you decide to come back to me or the Treasury, whoever runs that. I'm pretty sure it's just me. I'm the one that hands out the contracts anyway. Okay, you come to me. And then we'll redo the contract. Oh, yeah, well, in that case, how many taxpayers do you have? One. We have one taxpayer. Matter of fact, this is her second or third time being a taxpayer. She's putting a lot of investment into this nation. I think y'all should too. I can't force you, but I think y'all should too. She's putting money into it because she believes that it can happen. If y'all believe it can happen, put money into it. Or, like, request a promise. Is there something you want me to promise you when we get the land? A better education, better hospitals, better health care. Oh, hello, I got a comment. Let's see. I wonder if I could do a thingy. Let's see. How do I do this? I actually want to put your comment on the screen, but I'm not that advanced yet, so I'll just have to go with it. So I got a comment here from Mr. Golder Tate. Why Americans didn't wake up during COVID-19 when they made people pay rent, but stop perform working? Why Americans didn't wake up during COVID-19 when they made people pay rent, but stop perform working? Stop perform. Stop perform. I understand the first part of your comment. The second part is throwing me off a little bit. Probably because of the word perform. Let's see. COVID-19 when they made people pay rent. Okay, so landlords making them pay rent and such. I mean, but there's also property taxes too, so. But the paying rent part, yeah. Well, if you think about it too, the landlords are technically locked down too, so they need to rely on money to survive as well. I know it sounds far-fetched to some people because landlords always have a lot of money, but I mean, look, there's big landlords and there's small landlords. If you're mad about all landlords, you're mad about all landlords. But your anger should be towards the big landlords, not the smaller ones. But the smaller ones are getting affected more because they're just like us. They're like all of us. They got to pay their own rent to the government. Because in some states, I think, yeah, some states, property taxes increased. And taxes in general increased because inflation increased. And when those two things increase, it's hard to pay stuff. So, I don't know why Americans didn't wake up. So, there's my answer to that question. I do not know. The paying rent part, that part's hard. I mean, that part's hard to do. I don't know. That one's a landlord and government thing. The reason why people stop working is because they don't want to get sick, and government told them to stay home because the government thinks they're our masters, and we're their, I'm not going to say that word on YouTube, and we're their servants, okay? Indentured servants, okay? So they told us to stay home for the year or two, you know, so we don't get them sick. That's why they don't wear masks, so hopefully that answers your question. I don't know entirely why, but I gave an aspect of maybe why. So hopefully that answers your question. Thank you for the comment. Alright, let's continue. Let's continue where we was. Ah, here we go. Okay. I am very happy that Mr. Golder Tate became my first commenter. Woohoo. Okay. I'm trying to remember where I was now. That comment got me. Stop talking boring stuff and got me answering questions. I love it. Alright. Alright, let's see. Yeah, arrest warrants, carry firearms, taking office, oscillating blue lights, service fees. Now, we don't have any service fees. Just to remind all y'all, we don't have any service fees laws in place right now. It's literally only if it's really needed. And right now it's not needed, so. But there's voluntary taxation contracts, which is decided by popular vote to pay for the elected chief constable and constables. Subsection 5 says all constables must only patrol within the borders of Nyx. Obviously. Constables shall be required to be trained for the use of firearms and must show proof of certification. Certification is not the same as a license. It is a show of proof that you have been trained on how to use a firearm. Certifications are usually, and most of the time, free. Unlike a license that expires and you have to pay a shit ton of money to get. A certification helps you certify, or helps show us that you're certified to use a firearm. That's the difference between that and a license. Alright? Now, certifications can have expiration dates too. You know, maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever the number is that we decide on. You know, and if it's that time to get certified, it's time to get recertified. Okay? So, you know, we want to make sure our constables know how to use firearms safely. If it ever comes to that. God willing, hopefully they don't use firearms. But if they have to, it's life. Okay? They're not, constables are not just gonna sit there and let someone shoot them or stab them. You know, if they got a weapon, they're gonna use their weapon back. I don't like it either. But that's why there's body cams, that's why there's evidence, that's why there's courts, that's why there's witnesses, all that stuff. I mean, people are recording cops all the time. If their body cams are not on, well, guess what? Everybody else's body cams is on. Their phones, their iPads, their own video cameras, their YouTube channels. Okay, so we got something to go after the constable with, assuming that what he did was a crime to, you know, the suspect or victim or whatever the hell it was. Okay? Alright, let's see. Subsection 7. Constable salary shall be based on the number of registered voters. That one's an interesting one. I actually don't know why I proposed that one, but I guess it actually makes sense. Constable's salary shall be based on the number of registered voters. I actually don't know why I proposed that part in the law, but basically what it means, I guess, like, what is it? There's 17 registered voters. So that's like, what, 17 Nyxi pounds an hour? Well, that would make sense if it's 17 Nyxi pounds an hour, because there's 17 registered voters currently. Yeah, no, that would make sense. Yeah. Is it not chief constable? No, it's all constables. Oh, okay. Well, it's a very vague. I won't lie to you. It's a very vague subsection. That might have to be. That one might have to be amended, because I didn't realize how very vague that is. Honestly, hey, trial and error. So, all right. What does subsection 8 say? Hey, another question. Oh, it's a comment. Mr. Golder Tate says, you should do a scheduled weekly program called Ask the Prime Minister or something. I should I? Maybe I should do that. Instead of Ask Me Anything, it should be Ask the Prime Minister. I can do that. Thank you. I will take that up to consideration. Thank you. I will take that in consideration. Scheduled weekly? Well, let's see. My first video was on Saturday. So technically, this is the second week, so maybe it will be a weekly program. Maybe it will. Maybe it will. We'll see. This is like my second live stream in existence. So, like, the rest of it were recorded videos. This is my second actual live stream. So, I will take that into consideration. Thank you for the comment. Okay, let's see. Trying to figure out where I'm at again. Ah, here it is. Section 8. When a court is in session, one constable is required to be present, and Her Majesty's Court decides which constable is appointed to the court session. What does this mean? Okay, well, obviously, you have to have a... I think it's called a plaintiff? No, it's not called a plaintiff. What's it called? It's been a while since I've seen a court show. I think it starts with a B. Oh... It starts with a B. It's when there's a cop present in the courtroom and the bailiff. Bailiff, that's the one. It's the bailiff, yes. So basically the constable gets to be assigned as a bailiff in a courtroom. So that's what that subsection means. So, look, y'all seen what courts look like. I'm not even going to explain it. Y'all already know how that works. 9. All constables are required to read and understand civil and criminal laws of the Queendom of Nyx, including the Constitution, and must uphold and enforce these laws and protect people's rights. Yes, all constables are required to read every single civil, criminal laws of the Queendom of Nyx, including the Constitution. They're all mandated to do so. Okay, so if a constable ever goes up to you and you think you didn't violate the law, and they're like, well, you violated, well, I think you violated this law. It's like, you think or you know? It's like, what law did I violate? Name it by name it by NRS title, section, subsection, paragraph, all that stuff, right? Or name the amendment, okay? Now, we're human beings. Not everybody has a very good memory. I am aware of this. But that's why the constables will have class. I don't know what kind of class. It could be like every day, every week, every month, some kind of class that will reteach them brand new laws, brand new regulations, brand new constitutional amendments, if any, all that stuff. So, again, trial and error. So, we're trying stuff new, so it's what we got. So, and by the way, the constable's thing was passed October 23rd of 2023. So, it's actually about to be, the constables are about to be 1 year old of existence. Yay! Look at that. Okay, let me find the thingy. Ah, here it is. Subsection 10. All constables must provide their own vehicles, firearms, and uniforms for official purposes unless provided by the Bureau. Alright. This one's an interesting one, because I actually got feedback from this. I think from the Queen? I don't remember if it was from the Queen or someone else. Yes, constables must provide their own stuff in case we can't afford it. I mean, let's be real. We're tiny. Our treasury's not that massive, okay? It's not that massive. So, if we can't afford them uniforms, vehicles, firearms, all that stuff, then they'll have to provide their own. Okay? Now, does this mean constables have to have firearms? No. Do they have to have a vehicle? No. Do they have to have a uniform? Yes. You must have a uniform. Well, actually, then again, I think I misread it, actually. It does say the word must on there, so maybe I'm wrong. They must have their own vehicles, firearms, and uniforms for official purposes unless provided by the Bureau. Okay. Well, then I guess they'll have to have a firearm. Okay. Misread that then. And it must provide their own vehicles. Yeah, well, never mind. I misread it. Never mind. They are required to have those things. So. That was my bad. So disregard that. 11. Once an elected chief constable has been impeached, he or she can no longer become chief constable in Nyx. So this is actually a protest law to U.S. law enforcement. Now, what y'all think about this? Police officers are not elected in the U.S., obviously. But, if you think about it, once an elected chief constable has been impeached, he or she can no longer become chief constable in Nyx. This is a protest law, meaning I proposed this specific subsection to this law to show people that if you mess up as a cop and get fired, essentially, you could no longer be a cop. That's what that subsection means. Once you're impeached, you can no longer be a cop anymore. Anywhere. You're done. You're no longer being a cop. Go find another job. Clearly, your job of being a cop is not lost my words. Obviously, you being a cop is not a good job for you. So. Alright. 12. Constables shall have the authority to collect taxes from taxpayers who have signed a voluntary taxation contract. Yes, we will have constables that will collect taxes in cash. See, because I didn't put the specificity in there. That's not even a word, but whatever. Specifics in there saying they must pick up taxes in cash. I did not put that in there. That could probably be amended later. But that basically means, the deputy constable or chief constable goes around to, our citizens that signed a voluntary taxation contract. And then, They go there, they pick up the cash, they bring it back to the treasury, done. Okay, and they're getting paid. So I mean, it's not like they need to. And besides, the U.S. dollar is crashing anyway. It's gonna crash, y'all. The U.S. dollar is gonna crash. The only reason we need it right now is so we can get this land real quick, and then we start relying on our own currency, and then worry about the U.S. dollar later. Okay. So, but we kind of need the U.S. dollar right now. Okay. So if you're a citizen and you're watching, sign up for the voluntary taxation contract. It's not that expensive. It's only 2% of either your income. I know, income tax. Oh God, here we go. Look, taxation is theft. Okay? I agree. Taxation is absolutely theft. However, this is a voluntary taxation contract. All you have to do is say no, be done with it. But if you're willing to invest money into the Queendom of Nyx, I highly recommend you do this. It's only 2% of your paycheck. Just 2% of your paycheck. It's not a lot. Okay, if it's like $200 paycheck, it's only like what, $20, $2, something like that. That's 2%, right? So it's not a lot of money. Okay, and the other one is property tax. I know, another anti-libertarian tax. Oh God, I know. It's okay. It's voluntary. Now, what's this one? The property tax one is 2%, of course. The 2% number. It's the 2% base, and we actually changed the law too to something different that actually helps the people out even more, where you pay less taxes. Instead of 2% of your entire plot of land, by square feet, by the way, it's 2% of the housing structure by square feet. The 2%, whatever the 2% of the total square footage of your housing structure is, that is how much in taxes you pay. Just the size of the house. Not the whole property, just the house. That's it. So back then it was the whole property. Okay, but we did numbers. It was pretty high. Like, especially for someone that has 2,000 acres of land. He wasn't like giving me bad feedback about it. It was just the fact that, I was talking to him about it. It's like, well, if you want to do property tax, you will have to pay this much. And even I looked at it funny. It's like, paying that much. It's like, yeah, what's wrong with it? Oh, wow, it's kind of, yeah, it's a lot pricey. Okay, it's very pricey. I don't know if I did the math wrong at all, but it was pricey. So we decided to, propose a law, change it up a little bit. Now it's 2% of the total square footage of your housing structure, as in your house. Like the house I live in. I don't own it, but it's the house I live in. It's whatever the total square foot of this building is, 2%, whatever 2% of that is, that's how much property tax you pay. So, and it's every year. Not every year. It's yearly, as in, no, it's not yearly either, damn it. The contract only lasts a year. That's it. Once the year is up, like say, what's the date? October 8th. If you do a contract now, and then next year on October 8th, 25, the contract ends. You no longer have to pay taxes after October 8th, 2025. It's done. You people decide when to pay taxes again. And we're just going to sit around and enjoy the money for a little bit, but we have to spend it, so we can't touch it anyway. Besides, there's only 2 people that are authorized to touch the treasury anyway, so. Alright, well, hopefully that was informative. If you want more information, go on www.queendomofnyx.com, and you will find out information about the voluntary taxation contracts. Become a citizen first, please, then do that. Let's continue on down the executive laws, shall we? Let's see, subsection 13. During events where the Prime Minister or the royal family is located, one constable that is appointed by the Prime Minister must escort him. Okay, I had or her in there too, but Grammarly was like, that don't make sense. Just put him. Just put the word him. Whatever. Him or her, or they until he, she, or they have returned to his or her or their residence after the event. I put the word their and they in there as in a plural sense, as in multiple people, not a gender thing. Okay. Not that there's anything wrong with those, not there's anything wrong with that kind of a gender pronoun type. I don't get into that stuff. But it's just, I use that as a plural term. Okay. What was I again? Yeah. Or they have returned to his or her or their residence after the event. So, if me and the Queen go to an event like we did in Oktoberfest, obviously we didn't have constables then, but we went to Oktoberfest and we went to Huber's Farms, which are technically events. And if we had a constable, that constable, is our escort. So subsection 14, the last one of chapter 9, but it's not the rest of them. Subsection 14, chapter 9. The constables have the authority to escort the Prime Minister or the royal family off the premises and back to their homes or safe area if they deem the event to be dangerously unsafe. As in, if the constable believes that me or the royal family is in danger, they have the authority to drag our asses out of the event and get us out of there as fast as possible. Okay, so because look, if our security says it's not safe, then it's not safe. As much as we want to be there and, show bravery and such, we want to be safe as well. And if we're safe, everybody else hopefully should be safe, right? Because, if we're the targets, we don't want everybody else to be the crossfire, right? So, not that we're like having those issues. It's just, it's there just in case. Better than the Secret Service, hopefully. I know, right? I hope it's better than the Secret Service. Well, that's the thing, though, right? The constables are run by a elected official. So if the constables do something wrong, you won't be going. I mean, you can go to, complain to me or do negative feedback towards me or complain to me or, whatever. You could get on me for that constable's actions. However, the chief constable is solely in charge of every other constable. I'm just the boss of the elected constable. Okay, so and not only that, my job with constables is to recruit them. That's literally, I've read it before. I'm only allowed to recruit them. That's my entire duty with all these constables is recruit them. That's it. I mean, and to be escorted by them, I guess. But that's literally it. The chief constable is the one you should go to if a constable has done something wrong. But yes, I would hope so, Mr. Golder Tate, that that is better than the Secret Service. Yes. All right, that is the end of all the constables. Now you know how very restricted the constables are. I was checking my Xbox; it turned off. That's fine. I don't care. All right. Chapter 10. What, you thought I was done? Chapter 10. Child Protection Service. Oh, it's a big one. That's a big one. It was actually passed this year. The Queen is the one who proposed it. And I helped amend it. Or I think I plan to amend it. No, I haven't amended it yet. I think. No, I have not amended it yet. Okay. I thought I amended it, but it hasn't been proposed yet. Okay, that's fine. But it's still there, so let's go ahead and read it. Chapter 10, Section 10. April 23rd, 2024. Authority of the Child Protection Service. Child Protection Service will be limited in terms of emergency court order authorization, as in no immediate removal of parent-child from the home. Subsection 2. Child Protection Service investigations will need to be thorough before any type of actions, which includes removal of child, parent, safety plan actions, etc. Subsection 3. Child Protection Service will also be monitored in terms of making sure the paperwork is accurate and non-falsifying documentation and accurate histories. Child Protection Service will be limited in terms of rights, with the government will not have removal rights granted until after thorough investigation. The words are big, so I had to say it that way. Subsection 5. Child Protection Service will have the... This is what the Queen wrote, by the way. This is what... As it's written, it was written by the Queen. So, talk to her about that. Child Protection Service will be limited in terms of... No, I already got that one. Section 5, Child Protection Service will have to have actual documentation of physical, emotional, and mental abuse towards the child or children. Subsection 6, Child Protection Service will not have the right to assume situations without proper investigations as in medical documentation. I think she meant without. I'm going to help her with that typo. I think she meant the word without, not with. Hold on. Will not have the right to assume situations without proper investigations, as in medical documentation without consent of parents. Is it with or without? I'll have to ask her on that one. You're on. I'm gonna mark it. I'm gonna highlight it and mark it real quick. I'm gonna see if that is a typo or not, and I'll ask her about that. I just read it again and it looked confusing to me. So I'll just go ahead and just read it as it was written. So, let me try it again. Will not have the right to assume situations without proper investigations, as in medical documentation with consent of parents. If the child can speak, allow an adult in the room with the child to ensure proper interviews take place. Sometimes she types really fast, so there might be typos in here. I essentially just copied and pasted, didn't really fix the grammar or anything. But I will once I amend it, so. Subsection 7. Child Protection Service will ensure the child or case is properly investigated to limit falsification of charges against parents, such as thorough interviews with witnesses in question, going through prior cases if applicable, etc. Subsection 8. Child Protection Service will also investigate calls from the caller and only open a case if the child has a prior history that is open and has evidence of prior abuse. Calls from concerned outlets such as teachers, caretakers, daycare workers, and doctors. And that's it. That's it for our Queendom of Nyx CPS. So I'm going to go down here and get ready for Chapter 11. And in case you want to know how many chapters there are 14, or no, sorry, 15, but it's not that long. We're already past the long one, so everything else is not too long. So, it's alright. Don't panic. But obviously, if you want to know more about the Queendom of Nyx, you're going to have to know these things, right? I mean, we got Mr. Golder Tate here, being my first commentator, blowing me up with questions. So, you know, if you got questions too, please don't feel shy to ask them. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on the bell too. That helps the algorithm. Okay, it's free. All right, let's go to Chapter 11, shall we? It's one of our executive offices, the National House Funding Agency. I think I mentioned this before in the last video. All right, this office was established on May 9th of 24. Chapter 11, Section 11, establish the National House Funding Agency. Number 1, the NHF shall be run by an appointed person that is appointed by the Prime Minister. Paragraph A, the appointed person shall be titled Commissioner of the National House Funding Agency, or Commissioner for short. Subsection 2, the NHF duties can be amended or removed by law, but at this time the following duties are: A, NHF shall be funded 3% by the General Fund of the Treasury every month, so it has a monthly budget, which we have not done yet. So, I mean, if you think about it, like say we do say if we, you know, our revenue income, it'd be revenue, yeah, revenue. Our revenue is slow, so as revenue's coming in, you know, if we have to pay the National House Funding Agency with our budget, then, you know, we'll start putting 3% into, you know, whatever, right? So, you know, it's not an overkill. You know, so, I mean, maybe every month might be a bad timing, right? So, because we already made that mistake before with our government official minimum wages, so we'll see. We'll see if that works or not. I mean, it's already been 5 months. So going by that calculation, I don't think it's really that much money anyway. especially from our treasury. So I think we'll be fine. And B, NHF will find houses that are $100,000 US dollars or less within provincial jurisdictions. We have 3 provinces: Aries, Eros, and Poseidon. And those three provinces um, cover the areas of a lot of counties. And these counties are not random. These counties are actually connected to whoever lives in them, right? So if you own a home and you're like super far away, right? I just pick a road with a highway that goes through those counties all the way up to your home county, right? And then those counties will be added as part of the planned province, right? You know, unless in the future we change our minds and we decide to be smaller or bigger or an island, you know, whatever. So, but that's where we're at now with that. So that's what provincial jurisdiction means. And add them to the list of potential housing for Nyxi citizens looking for a home. What this means is that obviously we're looking for cheap houses that are probably run down, that are probably crappy, that are probably haven't been serviced for a minute because, you know, we're on a budget, y'all. Okay? But, you know, according to chapter 4 of this entire title, whatever home you own is territory of the Queendom of Nyx. So obviously, the more houses we buy, the bigger our territory gets. But we want to help our citizens out at the same time. So if you're a renter or you're homeless, the National House Funding Agency, with the Treasury money, will buy the house in full, but as it is. We'll buy the house in full, but as it is. Okay? However, there's a thing for this, so you gotta pay attention. Paragraph C, NHF must report findings to the Prime Minister. That part's obvious. D, the 3% fund for the Treasury must be approved by the Secretary of the Treasury and the Prime Minister before it is given to the NHF. Well, there you go. The 3% fund must be approved. So there you go. If it's too much money, we'll just disapprove it. There we go. Hey, look at that. There's a checks and balance. Paragraph E, the NHF must provide the rent-to-own policy to the citizen who wishes to own the listed home. 75% of the rent will go to the general fund, the Treasury, while the other 25% goes towards the NHF agency. So, you know, obviously the National House Funding Agency, while getting a monthly budget, is also making money from the renter-owned policy to help, you know, keep it going even better. That's the functioning part of it. And the rent-to-own policy is not going to be, you know, an extremely stupid rent. Like, think about it. It's a $100,000 house. It's not that expensive, right? So, obviously, the rent is going to be very low. You'll be able to pay it off. And then 75% of it and 25% of it will go to the two things. It'll be good. Now, will the house be exactly 100,000? No, but 100,000 is the maximum. Which, ironically, I did not put that in the law, so I guess I'll have to amend that in the future. But the intent is it's $100,000 or less. Okay? Oh, it does say less. Well, still. Does the Queen... Oh, Mr. Golden has a question. Does the Queen have an emergency contingency plan for various situations? I'm working on one myself. Procedures for departments, officials, etc. Interesting. Emergency contingency plan for various situations. Okay, Mr. Golden Tate, if you're still listening, give me an example. It'll help me out. Give me an example of a various situation, and I will give you one. Because various situations, like, I mean, for weather, we have, I have plans for a storm bunker that I want to copy from a city that exists today. There's like a steel insulated brick building that's supposed to be a storm shelter that's supposed to like protect everyone in the town. I plan on having that. So there's the weather contingency plan. Hurricane. Well, hey, that storm bunker will help the hurricane. Or not help the hurricane, but it'll help you get rid of the hurricane. But if houses get destroyed by the hurricane and whatnot, the only thing I could think of is, at the moment, I mean, I don't think we have any written emergency plans in place, but that is a good thought. And you are not the only one that asked that question, actually. Um, I was asked that question before when we thought about getting an island. How do we protect ourselves from hurricanes and such? I always brought up the storm bunker. Because if you look at, you can actually look this up. It's in the city. It's a public building. Muldrow, Kentucky. If you look at Muldrow, Kentucky, it's a small, skinny town. It literally almost looks like the Argentina of Kentucky, honestly. That's how... Is Argentina or Chile? Chile, sorry. The Chile of Kentucky. Because it's a city with a skinny border. Okay, so it's very skinny. Right? So... And I've been there. I got pictures of it. In the middle of that town, there's a large brick building. And it's a storm shelter. The whole building is a storm shelter. And it's got steel doors, steel insulated, bunch of vents, and obviously the outer part of that building is all brick, to make it look pretty, I guess. So the only thing I can think of weather-wise would be a very steel insulated storm bunker that has everything we need in there. That's the only thing I can think of. So yeah, storm building, storm bunker, that's such. Now, houses getting destroyed. Like, say, if you lost a house, your house is damaged, the only thing I could think of at this time that would be a good idea, because, again, I don't think we have a written emergency plan in place at the moment, but if we did, and this is probably something I would propose, I think the National House Funding Agency would be the one to step up to help, I think. That would be if the federal government decides to help. Obviously, if you're a citizen, you got your neighbors, everybody's in the storm bunker, hurricane's gone, you're coming out, you're looking for survivors, you're looking for the soon-to-be rested. Unfortunate. There we go, the unfortunate. That would sound better, the unfortunate. Look for the unfortunate, look for the survivors, pick up damages, all that stuff. And, the only thing I could think of is the National House Funding Agency. Maybe we can amend that federal office later to help with those kind of things. But at the moment, we don't have an emergency plan in place. So those two things, the House Funding Agency and you guys as a community, help each other out, get through stuff, food, water, community stuff, basically, until our Nyxi federal government, tries to do something, I guess. Because obviously, no one's going to give a shit about money at that point, right? No one's going to give a shit about it, right? Because, lives are at stake, houses are at stake, properties at stake, no one's going to give a shit about money at the moment, right? So, the aftermath would have to be a community effort at this point, really. So, hopefully that answers your question. It's a very good question. I hope I give it a good answer. If it's not a good answer, call me out, and I'll try to answer it again to the best of my ability. So, hopefully that answers your question. Thank you for the comment, though. And like I said, if I do not have a good answer, I will honestly tell you I do not know. Like I did with the first question. I do not know. I mean, I was given an answer, but you could tell I was confused a little bit about the question in general, and I just straight up tell you I don't know. So, again, thank you for the comment. Alright, so, was that everything for the National House Funding Agency? No, it is not. Okay, letter F. Paragraph F. NHF will buy houses that are in current condition, which means you buy it as it is. That is what that means. NHF will work with the individual or family of individuals to make the house in better condition, but NHF is not responsible for any damage or mishaps that may occur in the home, but individuals can make reports to NHF to see what they can do to help. Okay, so even though they're not responsible, they will be here to help you. Now, again, this is a brand new agency. It can be amended. Okay, it's not like everything written on here is permanent. It can literally be amended. So, And these are laws too, so National Assembly wise, these things could be amended tomorrow if they wanted to, depending on the people's vote. So, all right, let's go to another brand new agency that we founded on our founding day this year, September 21st of 24. Chapter 12, Department of the Census Bureau. Now, back in the day when we had this constitution, I've always collected a census. I guess you could say I made an eternal census bureau, but never really had an official office. I actually did get in trouble for having that too, but I was only allowed to do limited things with the data. So I decided to propose an actual Department of the Census Bureau, and then it got passed. So we got it. So what's it got? What stuff it's got? Alright, so here are the positions. There's the Census Czar, which leads the department, oversees all census activities, sets guidelines for data collection, and ensures the accuracy and confidentiality of population data, acts as the main coordinator for nationwide census and surveys. 2. Chief Data Officer, or CDO. Assist the Czar in managing data collection, analysis, and reporting, ensures data integrity, and develops strategies for effective population tracking. Skill requirements, data management, statistical analysis, and attention to detail. Anybody can do that. Okay? Anybody can. Census Field Coordinator. Organizes and manages field work for data collection. Coordinates with other departments and community members to ensure accurate and comprehensive data. Skill requirements, organizational skills, which everybody can do. Basic understanding of data collection methods, which everybody can do. Very easy. Data analyst analyzes the collected data to identify demographic trends, population changes, and other statistical insights. Prepares reports that inform government policy and resource distribution. Skill requirements, strong and analytical skills, experience with statistical software and data interpretation. Census clerk. A. Handles administrative tasks such as maintaining records, imputing data, and assisting with census operations, supports the department in compiling and organizing census data. Skill requirements, administrative skills, basic data entry, and record keeping, which is not too hard. Survey specialist, designs and implements surveys for gathering additional data beyond basic population statistics, works on specialized surveys such as employment, health, or housing. Skill requirements, survey design, data collection methods, and analytical skills. Community outreach officer, which we do have, by the way. We do have an acting census czar, and we do have a community outreach officer. I'll get to that in a minute. Engages with the community to raise awareness about the census and encourage participation. Helps communicate the importance of accurate data collection for national planning. Skill requirements, communication skills, community engagement, and basic knowledge of census objectives. Not that hard. Fairly easy. Alright, there's some things I gotta edit here, so give me 1 second. Where's the other things at? Ah, here they are. Let's see, turn you blue. You're already bold, so you're good to go. What is this, Arial? Yeah, it's Arial. Okay, so let's do Times New Roman. There we go. Kind of a last minute change, so give me a second. Shrink this down to 8. There we go. Good to go. And we are good. Ooh, maybe we're not. Do those need to be tall? Or big? I guess so. Ooh, okay. Alright, make that 13 then, I guess. Or 12. Bold. There we go. No. Here we go. Bold and 12. There we go. Okay. Main roles and duties of the Census Bureau. The duties of the Department of the Census Bureau are the following. Report to the Prime Minister the total population to Queendom of Nyx, obviously. Report the provisions listed above of every province separately. In case you don't know what that entails, it basically means report the total population of the province. C, report the total population of the county. D, report the total population of the city. Or every city. Subsection 2. if a citizen is from another micronation, then it must be written down as they are from that said micronation. Paragraph A. If a citizen is from another country, such as, but not limited to, the United States or Canada, it must be written down as they are from there, from those nations. 3. Report the age of every citizen. 4. The Department of the Census Bureau is required to do a 6-month count and report. 5. Any new duties can be added and current duties can be repealed by law. And that is all for that. Alright, let me see something real quick. Okay, that's what I thought. These are, yeah, they're all going to be 8s then, so I don't even know why they're not 8. Okay. Okay, so I'll just go down here and make them not bold anymore. There we go. Make them all 8. Yeah, just do the whole thing. Just do that. Alright, if anybody got questions for the Census Bureau, hit me up and I will let you know. There we go. That is better. That is way better. Make it all 8 bold. There we go. Make that go down. There we go. Alright, we're almost done with the entire executive branch. I'm going to go on YouTube and make sure everything is okay. Okay, looks like YouTube is still breathing. Alright, YouTube is still breathing, which is good. OBS is also still breathing, which is also good. Alright. Okay, so I will go back to my OBS, and then I'll put this back on. Here we go. Hit my phone. Nothing. Give me 1 second. The box is funny. There we go. Alright. How long has it been? Let's see, what time is it? 9:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. Alright, let's continue on. Chapter 13, the Department of the Treasury. An official one. Founded on the same day, September 21st, 24. What positions we got? Treasuries are... Oh, wait. I apologize. I forgot to tell you who the census people are. The acting census czar is the current deputy prime minister. Since he's a public official, I'm allowed to say his name. His name is Cain Denaro. That is the deputy prime minister of the Queendom of Nyx. And he is also the acting census czar of the Department of the Census Bureau. And we have Senator Brianna McGuire, who was the first chairman of the National Assembly, who was defeated in the election by me. Not showing that off. I'm just letting in on some history. But she is an appointed senator, so, you know, she's not, like, out of office entirely. But she is the community outreach officer of the Department of the Census Bureau. So she has another executive role, not just the senator. And she is aware that the Privy Council is going to get proposed to be abolished in the future, and that's probably where it's going to go. I think people are actually just going to get rid of that. So that's what it's starting to look like. So that's why I'm giving other executive positions to my senators, so they won't be entirely out of the job. So, Let's see. Let's do... Oh, yeah, that's right. No, I was right. Yeah. Okay. Department of the Treasury. Treasury Czar, which I am the acting leader of, oversees the entire department, sets financial policies, and ensures all Treasury activities align with the Queendom's goals, acts as the main point of contact for financial matters both internally and externally. Chief Financial Officer, CFO, assists the Czar in managing the overall financial strategy, responsible for budgeting, financial planning, and providing reports to the government. You need to be strong understanding of You need to have a strong understanding of finance, budgeting, and strategic planning. Budget Officer manages the budget, tracks government spending, and ensures that all departments stay within their allocated funds. Skills needed: attention to detail and basic financial management. Those drop. Revenue Officer oversees the collection of revenue, including taxes, fees, and other income sources for the government. Helps ensure all revenue-generating activities are accounted for. Skills needed: basic accounting knowledge and organizational skills. Financial Analyst analyzes financial data to inform policy decisions, prepares financial reports and forecasts to assist in strategic planning. Skills needed: analytical skills and experience with financial modeling. Treasury Clerk handles day-to-day administrative tasks such as record keeping, managing financial documents, and assisting with transactions. Skills needed: administrative skills and basic financial knowledge. Compliance Officer ensures that all financial activities comply with laws, regulations, and internal policies, monitors financial practices for transparency and legality. Skills needed: understanding of financial regulations and attention to detail. Citizens Oversight Committee member. This is actually not necessarily... Wait, hold on. Oh! Wait a minute. Oh, never mind, I'm wrong. No, it is definitely part of the Treasury, absolutely. Citizen Oversight Committee member. Acts as a community representative to provide oversight and ensure transparency in the department's operations. This can be a rotating position filled by different citizens periodically. Skills needed: basic understanding of financial matters. Training can be provided. All right, there we go. Roles and duties. All right, let me get to the part of editing because this was last minute put in. Here we go. Make all this into 8. And obviously Times New Roman. There we go. Okay, roles and duties. Report to the Prime Minister the total funds of the Queendom of Nyx, calculate the revenue of the Treasury, calculate the gross domestic product or GDP, the economy, can propose budget or spending recommendations to the Prime Minister, handle the control of the creation of the Nyxi pound currency, in charge of the facilities housing aluminum, copper, silver, and gold bars. Any new duties can be prescribed and current duties can be repealed by law. That is the Department of the Treasury. Let's move on. Chapter 14, Executive Reminders. It's no longer executive orders. It's executive reminders. Reminders are defined as written orders given by the Prime Minister of the Queendom of Nyx that defines how it will enforce all laws and regulations passed by the legislature. The Prime Minister of the Queendom of Nyx is given the power to officially enact these reminders to faithfully execute the enforcement of all laws and regulations passed by the legislature. Reminders can be rescinded in 2 ways. Reminders can be rescinded by the Prime Minister by writing a rescind referral that will officially rescind a reminder without keeping a record. What does that mean? That means if I wrote a reminder today, the only way for me to rescind it is to write another reminder saying I rescinded it. But it'll be called a rescinded referral, meaning I'm going to write a whole new reminder saying I'm going to rescind this previous reminder, but that referral reminder won't be on record. I'm going to tell everybody that I'm rescinding this order, write it down, and they're both gone. Like I'm writing an angry letter to the bad order and throw them away. That's basically what that means. I need to get a drink or something. Reminders can be rescinded by the National Assembly in the form of a ballot initiative. And let's see. Define rescind referral. There's the definition right there, which I could have just said, but oh well. A referral that is not required to be on the record but must be publicly announced that will repeal or written reminders made by the Prime Minister of the Queendom of Nyx. See? I didn't even have to say it. It's already written down. Ain't I prepared? Last one of the executive branch, ladies and gentlemen. The last one. I know it's so long, but you want something funny? The legislative branch is longer. Chapter 15. Public cemeteries. I know some of your all's heads just, like, leaned over like a puppy. I'll explain that in a second. Public cemeteries. Public cemeteries shall be established across the Queendom of Nyx. These cemeteries will be run by contractors hired and paid by the taxpayers to keep maintenance. All graves buried within the borders of the Queendom of Nyx must be mausoleums. To be transparent, I am biased towards mausoleums. But it's only for public cemeteries. So. But another reason for mausoleums, they're buildings, you don't have to dig. Kind of simple and easy, right? So, I mean, they're expensive to make, sure, but I mean, prefer a building than something that's going to sink to the ground in the future anyway. I would know. I work at a cemetery. Volunteers are allowed to come to the cemeteries to help keep up maintenance. I mean, obviously, we're not going to prevent you from coming to the cemetery just to help out. But cemeteries are restricted at night, so you can't come at night, or we're going to automatically assume you're doing something wrong. The government will pick a plot of land to be designated as a cemetery and then sell out lots to whoever wants a lot. There must be one mausoleum per family. Remember what I said? One mausoleum per family. Now, does that mean all the family members have to be buried in a mausoleum? No. But that is the policy of a public cemetery. If you happen to be a family member of an already dead family member, you have to be buried in that mausoleum with them. If you don't like that, find another cemetery. Or, if you're part of the National Assembly, if you're a registered voter, propose to repeal that law, or propose to amend the law to make it sound more fair. Does this mean, oh, so there's only going to be public cemeteries? No. There's going to be private ones, too. It's going to be run, they might be run by a church. They might be run by another religious organization. They might be run by a nonprofit. They might be run by a private family. Government is not the only option in the world. There's many options. Taxpayers will pay for the update of the mausoleum as more family members are laid to rest. If you think about it, it makes sense. It is a public cemetery. It needs to be publicly funded. So, we need to make sure those mausoleums are up to date. So it does require public. Now, hold on. I said taxpayers will pay for the update, right? That applies for voluntary taxation contractors, okay? So, who are the taxpayers? Taxpayers are people who signed a voluntary taxation contract. You are not mandated to pay this tax, all right? So, but, you know, obviously, it means you sign up to pay the tax, your money might go towards that cemetery. So, that's another thing about voluntary taxation contracts. You can choose where your money goes. Yeah. You, the voluntary taxpayer, can choose where the money goes, where your money goes. When you sign a contract, there will be a list. You can check it to see if you want it to go towards everything, or towards one project, or another project, or another project, or another project, specifically, or towards everything, and we decide where the money goes. You get to choose where the money goes. Ain't that amazing? Transparency at its finest. Alright, let's continue on, shall we? I think it's actually the last one. And it is. For any citizen who wants to move their family members outside of the Nyxi borders who are laid to rest, to be laid to rest within Nyxi borders, they are allowed to do so, but they must help the government with the process. Even the government needs help to try to negotiate that whole thing when it comes to outside the country. Arrested, coming into Nyx to be buried. To be reburied, if even. So, and ladies and gentlemen, that is it. That is the everything about the executive branch. That is everything about the executive branch. That is one whole branch of our 3 branches of government. Soon to be 4 in the way future, but it's 3. Our 3 branches are supremacy, legislative, and executive. So, the 4th one in the way future will be judiciary. So, yep, that is all the executive branch. Yay, that's all the laws. I don't think there's no regulations towards the executive branch or regarding the executive branch. It's just the statutes and the Constitution. So there we go. Yay, the executive branch is done, y'all. Woohoo. Hope y'all like that. So I am happy to take any questions regarding the executive branch and all of its many departments. So obviously for some of them, actually, hold on a minute. One of them has not been added to the thing yet. There is an office missing. I did not see Waldo. Waldo was not in that list of title things on there. We are missing a whole department. Give me a second. I'm gonna go find it. That is my mistake. I knew something was up. Let me find it real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Let me find it. Now, this one shouldn't be a short one either. But it should have been added, like, a while ago. And I guess I never got around to adding that yet. Because I added everything else. I didn't add that one. Let's see. That's what I thought. I didn't write it down. Okay. Well, luckily, I found a referendum that proposed it. So I'll just go by what the referendum says. Alright, so the last official office of the executive branch on. Oh, I gotta do the thing again. Give me a second. Hiya. Shrink. Shrink. OBS. Appear. Aha. Zoom down a little bit. Zoom down a little bit. There we go. Zoom to the left. Alright. Alright, so I'm just going to go by what the referendum says. So basically, this is the Office of Violet Umbrella. That is the name of the office. What does it do? What is Violet Umbrella? Such a unique name. I know. I made it myself. Alright, what we got? So, it is under the sole jurisdiction of the executive branch, obviously. Now, this one is it's not too long, but there's a lot of details you must understand about this one. So, hopefully pay attention so you understand what this office is. But first, let's start with the positions. The Czar of the Office of Violet Umbrella, which I am currently acting as, oversees the entire office and coordinates between divisions. This role consolidates high-level decision-making and strategic oversight. Director of Research Development, which we do have one. Senator Ivar Ubi is the Director of Research Development of the Office of Violet Umbrella. So, and what does he do? Acts as both head of research and a lead researcher, overseeing research activities and directly conducting key projects. That is what he does. Chief Medical, Ethics, and Compliance Officer. Uh-oh, the word medical. Where's this going, Austin? Well, pay attention, you'll see. Combines the roles of the Chief Ethics Officer and Safety Compliance Officer to ensure ethical standards and legal compliance in all activities. The Director of Public Health and Outreach. Oh, God, a public health government thing. Austin, what are you doing? Hear me out. Manages public health initiatives, outreach, and community engagement. Also serves as the primary health education officer. Chief Data Officer oversees data management, analysis, and reporting. This role also handles the duties of data analyst. Chief Administrative and Financial Officer combines administrative and financial management responsibilities, handling budgeting, staffing, and day-to-day office operations. Census Clerk, or Administrative Assistant, supports administrative tasks, record-keeping, basic data entry, assists with logistics for both research and public outreach. Alright. Part-time assistants and volunteers. So we can recruit part-time assistants or volunteers to support specific tasks like data collection, field work for public health initiatives, or helping with community outreach. This approach allows the office to involve more citizens without requiring full-time commitment. Rotational roles. Create rotational roles where citizens take turns participating in specific activities. For example, community members can rotate in and out of assisting with research projects, public health events, or educational campaigns. We have cross-functional teams, multi-role staff, the office. Hold on a minute. There's a grammar error. Here we go. Why does it take me all the way up there? The office should allow some individuals. Oh, I don't know why. Oh, that's right. I'm reading off the referendum. Duh. Anyway. Straight off the referendum. The office should allow some individuals to take on multiple functions within the office. For example, the director of research could also act as the clinical trial coordinator until the prime minister or the czar can appoint someone specifically for that role. Similarly, the chief administrative and financial officer could handle basic compliance tasks as needed. Expanding gradually as the population grows. We're obviously starting out small at a team of 7. But as the population grows, more positions will be made for the office. So, primary jurisdiction, executive branch. Office of Violet Umbrella under the executive. The Office of Violet Umbrella falls primarily under the executive branch, given that it involves active governance functions such as bioresearch, public health policy, and collaboration with pharmaceutical companies. The Prime Minister, as head of the executive branch, would oversee the office's operations and ensure they align with national priorities. Direct control and administration. As an executive entity, the office would handle day-to-day operations, policy implementations, and collaboration with private sectors, managed by the appointed czar and their team. What is the role of the supremacy branch? While the that's just explaining the referendum. The supremacy branch can play a vital role in maintaining checks and balance. What do? Monarch's role, ceremonial and symbolic oversight. The monarch can have a ceremonial role in the Office of Violet Umbrella, emphasizing the office's importance to the Queendom's welfare. For instance, the Queen could inaugurate major initiatives, attend annual reviews, or publicly endorse key health initiatives, lending them legitimacy and public support. Strategic advisory role. The Queen can serve as the high-level advisor, providing strategic input on broad policy directions. While not involved in day-to-day operations, the monarch could offer guidance on significant issues like national health policies, ethical considerations, and research and international collaborations. Veto power, or royal assent. If the Queen's constitution allows, the monarch could have the power to give the royal assent to major decisions or policies initiated by the office. This provides an additional layer of review, ensuring that the office's actions align with national values and constitutional principles. Legal oversight and review. The judiciary's role should be primarily to ensure that the Office of Violet Umbrella operates within the bounds of the law and constitution. This could involve monitoring the office to ensure that all research, public health initiatives, and collaborations adhere to national laws, ethical standards, and individual rights. Citizens or other government branches could bring cases to the Court of Ministers if they believe the office is overstepping its authority or violating ethical or legal guidelines. The judiciary would then review these cases and interpret relevant laws. The arbiter of disputes. The judiciary can act as an arbiter in disputes involving the Office of Violet Umbrella, such as ethical controversies, disputes over legality of specific research activities, or challenges to the office's policies. Lastly, involvement of the legislative branch. Oversight committees. The National Assembly voters could establish oversight committees to monitor the office's activities, providing democratic oversight and ensuring transparency. This ensures a level of legislative involvement without direct control over the office's daily operations. Legislative checks. The National Assembly could pass laws that set the framework for how the Office of Violet Umbrella operates, specifying ethical guidelines, budget allocations, and reporting requirements. This was passed on the founding day. That's what I thought. December 21st, 2024. There. Now, that is all of the executive branch. That is all of them. Department of the Census Bureau. or really the Office of the Prime Minister, Office of the Deputy Prime Minister, the Privy Council, which will soon to be abolished, Department of the Census Bureau, that's 4 so far, National House Funding Agency, Department of the Treasury, Office of Violet Umbrella. Did I forget one? I don't think I did. Nope. Yep. Seven offices in the executive branch. So, and there's bound to be more. But they're all going to have, like, single-digit seats. You know, positions in there. Because, you know, our population is small. So we gotta, if we're going to make that many offices, we gotta at least make them small or something. Okay? And there's also a good possibility that these offices might end up merging. Obviously, due to the fact that we're still so small. It's not that we're so small. We have 24 total population. Soon to be 27. If not higher. Okay? And, but it's the fact that there's not enough people going for those offices. You know what I'm saying? So if there's not a lot of people going for those, like I can appoint someone, right? It's like you're appointed, but I can't force them to do it. You know what I'm saying? So if they say no, they'd say no. Okay, consent. So yeah, so I can't force someone to work in the office. So these offices might end up getting merged together to help, you know, organize them better until they become independent departments to do their own thing. If it comes to that, I'd be happily to propose a referendum to do that. So, or someone else will. So, now, just for the hell of it, in case someone's wondering about the name Violet Umbrella, I did get it off of a very popular game. If some of you know this game, then I don't have to tell you what it is. You already know. You could probably just say in a comment right now. So, but it's a game. I'm actually not going to say the name of the game. Not because I'm, you know, trying to hide it from y'all. Y'all can literally look it up yourselves. Literally, if you look up that office's name, I highly doubt that will be the thing that pops up on your search, Google search. It will show you the game. I haven't tried that yet. I wonder if I should try that. I'm gonna try that. If I type in Violet Umbrella on Google search, would it take me anywhere? Will it take me anywhere? Okay, well, it'll show you purple umbrellas all over the place, right? Okay, maybe I'm wrong. It won't show you the game. What happens if you put Office of Violet Umbrella? I wonder. No, it just... oh. Well, I mean, there's the Umbrella Academy. I mean, if you're into that TV series. But no, that's not where I got the name from, no. Is this even part of the... No, it's not. No, I've never even heard of the Umbrella Academy. Not the one that I'm looking at right now. Okay, never mind. I am wrong. If you Google search Violet Umbrella, it will not take you to the game. But since you heard the words bio research and then umbrella, put those two together. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Bio research umbrella. That won't do it either. I'm trying to make it funny, and the internet's not making it funny. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, how about umbrella bio research? Okay, it shows you. It does pop up logos from the game. Ooh. Hey, yep, okay. So if you type in Umbrella Bio Research on your Google search, it will show you the game I'm talking about. Oh, hello. Yes. Mr. Golden Tate called it out. Yes, Umbrella Corporation will get you the game. Yes. Yep, it is from the Umbrella Corporation. Yes. I won't lie, the name of that office was biased. Me and the Queen came up with it. We are diehard Resident Evil fans. Yep. I just said the name of the game too, so I mean, I'm sure everybody will know it. But yeah, we are diehard Resident Evil fans. So I mean, if it's gonna be bio research, and we kind of like Umbrella, not Umbrella, the evil guys, like the new ones by the Chris Redfield and such and such. That's Blue Umbrella, but we want to be the good guys too. But we want to sound unique, so it's like Office of Violet Umbrella, but now run by government, which is probably sounds even worse. But we're too small to be that corrupt with that kind of crap yet. And besides, we don't have anyone that knows anything about bio research in our country. So, are the Nyx umbrella colors violet and gold or black? It is violet and silver, actually. It is violet and silver. I actually have the because I actually made emblems for all the departments. Um, no, they're over here. I don't know if I can share them to you. I'll I need to put those on the website is what I need to do. So maybe after the live show tonight, if I'm not too tired, or maybe tomorrow, I'm gonna put those emblems onto the website because I haven't done it yet. I'm gonna put these emblems onto the website, and you'll see what the emblem is, and you'll see what the color on the umbrella is. But I'll tell you, it is violet and silver. So you got the first part right. Um, but no, Violet Umbrellas. The Office of Violet Umbrellas colors is violet and silver. Mm. And the Queen of Nyx flag, which is, I hate the finger thing, right here. The color of the flag is actually royal blue. It's royal blue with a coat of arms with a bunch of random colors and then a silver line going through it. So, yay! Look at that, got everything done. I'm so happy. Yeah. Oh, man. And look, I still got my copper bar from the last video. It's still here on my desk. It's a copper ingot. Oh, wait, the camera's right here. Why am I looking over here? Oh, because I'm looking at let's scoot over. Yeah. There's my copper ingot. It is very heavy. This is what our metal back currency is backed by. If you've seen the last video, we are currently inflated. I'm sorry. I have to be transparent. I can't say we never inflated before. We make mistakes. It happens. And we know how to fix it, so it's okay. So it's not like we're stuck in national debt and we're stuck in inflation like we are in the US. Okay, so we actually know how to fix ourselves. And we know when to stop printing. Unlike the US Federal Reserve, we know when to stop printing. So I need to figure out how to put comments on the screen. Like how some YouTubers do. I'll have to look that up. I need to. It says I can pin it. I don't know what one. Since I got everything done, I can like work on my studio now. Let's see if I can figure this out. Oh, I need to actually go on the YouTube one. Here we go. Let's see if I can actually do this. I can put a user in timeout. That's a thing. Well, I don't want to do that. If I pin your message, would it pop you up? I don't know. Let me see. It says it's got. I don't see it on my screen, but I don't know if it. I don't know. Hold on. Is that what you do to pop up the thingy? Actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna look at the YouTube because I don't think that happened yet. I'm watching the YouTube live feed right now. It's a little slow. It's trying to catch up with me. So I'm gonna see if the comment pops up on the screen when this happens. I'm just gonna see if it does or not. Because according to YouTube, I'm still yapping. So according to YouTube, I'm still yapping. So I'm gonna see. Am I still reading? Is that what's happening? Hold on. I don't want to keep the comment too long if that's... Holy crap, I'm 30 minutes ahead. I'm 30 minutes behind on the buffering? Yikes. Okay. On. I'm getting to the part now. I'm just trying to see if pinning your comment will pop it up on the screen. If it does, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off and be like, alright, got it. That's what I'll do now to pop your comment up on the screen so people can see your questions. So the average view duration is 22 minutes. That's not bad. Thank you. Thank you very much, whoever's viewing, for that long. Hopefully, I didn't bore you too much, but it sounds like you got a lot of good questions, so I'm glad you're here answering the questions for me. Yeah, it doesn't look like a lot of doesn't look like not a lot of Nyxi citizens are into watching me live stream on YouTube today, but that's okay. Not worry about it. Okay. I'm still yapping. I'm still yapping. I'm still yapping. Okay. I mean, at this point, I'm just editing my studio. But if you want to keep asking me questions, go for it. I will see it and I will get to it. Okay. I right now I'm literally just editing my studio. I'm essentially done talking about the executive branch today. So, ask me anything. Hopefully that was all informative. And if you missed some things, go back and find some information that you might have missed. Or you can go on our website at www.queendomofnyx.com. You'll find all of the information there. All of it. And if you want to become a citizen, there is a Become a Citizen box or button in the website. So find it, click it, boom. Okay? Alright, looks like my YouTube buffered self that I'm watching right now is currently attempting to do the comment thing now. So we're going to see if your comment will pop up on my YouTube screen. Again, I'm new to this whole live stream studio thing, so I am ignorant at most of these things. So I'm gonna actually turn my own volume up just to see if so I can hear where I'm at. I'm just gonna see if it does or not. Because according to YouTube, I'm still yapping. So according to YouTube, I'm still yapping. So let's see. I don't think so. I'm gonna go all the way to the. I don't think so. Okay, no, your comment does not pop up when it's pinned. Okay, got it. Okay. What if I click on it? Nah, it don't work. Okay. What about right clicking? Nope. Okay. Well, I'll figure it out in the future. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to figure that out in the future. Alright, well, I did all what I can today. It's already 10:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Alright, well. Oh, there we go. Tap the live comments speech bubble in the tab bar. Tap the live comments tab. Tap the live comments tab speech bubble in the tab bar. Is that a thing? Is that a thing? Hold on. What's this? Engage with your audience. There's the love button. There's chat. There's top chat. There's what's pop out chat? What's that? I don't think that's what it is. Timestamps. Oh well, that's actually very helpful. Actually, having timestamps. Yeah. Tap the live comments tab. In the tab bar. Tab bar. Tab bar. Tab bar. Tab bar. This is part. Okay, that's not it. There's engage with your audience. What's this? Well, I already have. Well, I'm already doing a Q&A technically. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Answer viewer questions live. I don't know. Well, again, is that a too big of a deal? You know, I'm new to it, so I'll try to figure this out. You know, when I have more time. You know, again, trial and error. You know, if I'll eventually. What did you say? Tag the like, comment, and beach bubble on the tap ball. Okay, I will look into that tomorrow because it's already 10:23, soon to be 10:30. Obviously, we all have work tomorrow, so I gotta get going to go to bed. I'm gonna go check on the royal family, see all the kids are back, the king's back, and see how the queen is doing, and see how our very young prince is doing. So I'm gonna go do that. Thank you all for joining the Nyxi Acolyte Talk Show. I am very glad, especially towards Mr. Golder Tate, my first and today only commentator of the day. So I thank you, sir, or a secretly ma'am in disguise of a surname. Okay, um, which don't matter to me. Um, thank you for being my first commentator. I am now giving you that honor. Thank you. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Whoever is viewing currently. If you feel like you missed out on asking me questions and whatnot, simple. Just wait till my next live video, which could be next week or could be this week again. I don't know what day. I'm not giving you a schedule. Because if I give a schedule, it will never happen. So, but since I'm starting to like doing this and it's starting to ramp up some things, some intriguing things to people, so I'm just going to randomly pick a day. Okay? It won't be a month from now. I'm just saying maybe a week or two or a few days, right? But, since it's intriguing people, I'll come back on a little bit more often now. So I'm starting to like having this live streaming and all that good stuff. Glad people are listening to me and listening to what I think about the U.S. and, why I'm making the Queendom of Nyx such and such. So why we do what we do, who we are as a community. So hopefully I answered everybody's questions, even though there's only one person to ask questions. I'm sure you had questions in your head. I'm sure some of your heads started spinning. Um, But if you just read into the documents, all the documents I read to you are all on our website. Just go on our website, go to government, go to executive. No, you do not go to executive branch. You go to legislative branch. That will be changing soon. You go to legislative branch, you go to laws, and then the laws will be right there for you. Constitution, big word, right there. Right under it, Nyx revised statutes, Nyx amended regulations. All of them will be there for you to read for yourself, okay? So, like I said, we don't have as many crazy laws as any other U.S. or U.S. state has. So, we have laws, just not an overabundant. If we put these on a book, it'd be a small book. It might not even be a big book. Like, I'm pretty sure it's a small book. So, alright, well, I'm gonna get off here now. Y'all have a wonderful Tuesday night. I will see you all again at whatever time I deem necessary to get back on live stream, which will be soon. So, I will see you all very soon. Good night, assuming the stop streaming button is not broken. Aha. And the streaming button is not broken, so let's get it on it.